Lawyers Without Borders group says Nigeria has the highest number of persons in death row, adding that it is not relenting in its call on government to join other African countries, including Ghana, in abolishing death penalty as a punishment in its laws. Kemi Fola Adeyemo has more in this report.
The facilitators of this intensive training are fellows of the Makianyane Institute at the Cornell University, New York. The institute was named after the 1995 landmark judgment of the South African Constitutional Court, which presided over the decision abolishing the death penalty in South Africa. Nigeria is classified as a retentionist nation as offenses such as murder or acts resulting in death or terrorism, kidnapping, treason, apostasy, adultery, same-sex sexual relations, and mutiny all carry the death penalty under the extant laws of the land. The Nigerian Correctional Service said in April 2023 that there are about 3,298 inmates on the death row in its prisons. The last executions were said to have been done on 3 convicted armed robbers in Edo State in 2016. Among the reasons to end it, activists say the death penalty violates the right to life and that it is irrevocable in the event of new evidence.
We call on the Nigerian government to begin to implement the section on the new revised Nigerian Correctional Service Act, which says that when persons have stayed for more than 10 years on death row, they should, the death sentences could be commuted to other lives of imprisonment, other terms of imprisonment.
We believe that the accused persons, even when convicted, should be reintegrated into the society, should be reformed. We are not averse to punishment, but we are averse to pronouncement of death penalty.
Observers say the death penalty is also disproportionately used against disadvantaged people who cannot afford high-class legal services, which can lead to a miscarriage of justice. They also stress the need to foster relationship among capital defense lawyers, sharpen their skills, and to create their commitments to free legal services.
We should always bear in mind that there is necessary and there's even obligatory for us, mandatory for us to always gather parallel investigation when we are representing somebody who is facing death penalty.
We are also encouraging lawyers to work together with prosecutors and in fact also the judiciary to see where cases, instead of going, for example, for murder, could come have a reviewed charge to manslaughter, where in that instance then the mandatory death penalty does not apply.
These advocates also call for a justice system that will be fully reformatory and geared towards restoration. Kemi Fola Adeyemo, TVC News, Lagos.
The federal government has been advised to direct all security agencies in Benue State to work towards ensuring that peace returns to all troubled areas in the state. Senior Special Assistant Governor Hassan Ali on Youth Mobilization and Empowerment, Moses Nkinem, made this call while speaking in Makurdi, the state capital. Mr. Nkinem also pleaded with the President Tinubu administration to restore hope in Benue State, particularly as regards the security situation bedeviling the state, and ensure that internally displaced persons return to their homes peacefully.
Persons, IDP, the activities of armed militias suspected to be Fulani herdsmen on the border area that have affected people from the local government of Logo, Guma, Kwande, Ukun, Kasnala, Makudi, Gwe West, Agatu, and Ogbadibo stand condemned. We call on Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, as a matter of urgency, direct all security agencies in the state to ensure peace returns to all the troubled areas in Benue State.
The President General of the Igbo Apex Socio-Cultural Group, organizing Igbo, Emmanuel Nwayao, has vowed to drag the federal government to court if it fails to adjust perceived marginalization of the Southeast in ministerial appointment by the government. Mr. Nwayao said this at a press conference in Owerri, the Imo capital, described the action as unfair to the Southeast region, which only got 5 slots for ministerial appointment, while other zones boast of 10 ministers. The President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo said the action contravenes the federal character principle. He also appealed to the federal government to create additional state in the southeast.
If they fail to do this, I will be left with no other choice but to go to court. I'm going to go to court. The court will now interpret whether if a zone, a region failed to vote for a president, whether they can, because of their exercise of their right of voting, be denied the right to have the number of members of Federal Executive Council that they should own, or whether they are going to be denied their right. I believe that I have to go to court, and it's not even in interest of Southeast. Today it is Southeast that is complaining. Tomorrow it could be another place. That is why all of us should come together and talk about this to make sure that this is a matter that contravenes the federal government character which is in the Constitution. Let it be given to us.
And youths have been advised to be more active in their respective communities and take on responsibilities that will positively affect the lives of people beyond social media activism. These were the thoughts of the convener of this year's annual Stakeholders Conference of the Youth and Media Volunteering Network. Ayomide Ajegbe has the details.
The theme of this event is Youth and Media for Nation Building and Sustainable Democracy. In his address, a media personnel appeals to professionals in the field to understand the dynamics that any error committed by them will be amplified, hence must be open to criticism at all times.
This is a responsibility that the media has, and you consumers of media also have to call us out when we don't do our jobs. But we are professionals and we're supposed to do our jobs. But what makes this difficult, of course, is the environment within where we are right now, which is why it's important to have well-trained, unbiased media that puts the facts in front of you as they are, and then you can digest them and make of it what you will.
One of the resource persons at the event says, regardless of political leanings, youth should leverage on their talent to corroborate government effort by coming up with ideas and initiatives that can impact the life of others.
We are the people that makes up the government. So my challenge would be for us to actually start seeing how we can use our talent, our time, our network to actually grow a nation and enterprises that we'll all be proud of.
One of the speakers at this forum frowns at the cancel culture in practice by media houses in Nigeria, which he says should be discouraged as it does not only demean the image of the country but also discredits the positive strides of patriotic citizens.
A country where when a terrorist or when insurgents kill one soldier, sadly, tragically, it makes the news for a week. But when our soldiers, the Nigerian army, bravely ransack their camps and destroy the entire coven, it barely makes the headlines because it does not suit their narrative. That must stop.
The social media revolution spearheaded by youth must transcend jumping on trends to making their voices heard. Their impact must be felt in their various communities.
We are saying that energy you use on the social media, to do this, to say this, now, replicate it in your communities. So the YMVN are youth who are passionate about changing their communities, who are passionate about good governance, who are passionate about supporting the grassroots, who are passionate, and do not work counterproductive to whatever the government is doing.
With gatherings like this, there will be a mentality shift from destructive tendencies fueled by social media to objective and instructive values. Ayomide Ajegbe, TVC News, Lagos.
The Minister of State Steel Development, Uba Maigari, has assured that the President Bola Tinubu's led government will do well in job creation. Disclosed this during his working visit to Methodological Training Institute, Onitsha, Anambra State. Mr. Maigari said the administration is more passionate about employability of Nigerians, especially in the steel sector. On his part, the Director and Chief Executive Officer of MTI, Bode Fakwade, while describing the minister's working visit as laudable, announced that the institute has over the years trained about 5,800 young Nigerians on self-reliance skills.
So I will use this opportunity to call on state governments also to partner with the federal government, especially for those of us in the steel sector. Like I said earlier, Mr. President is rebuilding this country block by block. This is one area, specialist area, that is of great concern to us. Governments can come in, like I saw some students from all across the country. They send more students. They emphasize the mad rush for certificates. No one says you shouldn't go to school and earn certificates. Earn certificates, but earn a skill as well. State governments should endeavor to send their wards here. There are specialist areas they can learn so much from. I would expect that when we get back, we'll put heads together with the technocrats back in the ministry. I'm sure we'll come out with something very good that will enhance the capacity of this place and the lives of our youth.
We've not had this in the last 10 years. So this is coming as a breakthrough for the Institute. We're honored to have the Honorable Minister to visit us and see what we're doing.
A group is urging the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to launch an inquiry into the leadership of the Bank of Agriculture, alleging instances of financial misconduct. During a press conference held in Kaduna State, the group advocated for the establishment of a committee tasked with conducting a comprehensive investigation into the financial and managerial practices of the bank under the tenure of the acting managing director, Awan Hassan. They believe that this measure is crucial in upholding the integrity of the Bank of Agriculture.
The bank has facing severe financial mismanagement, leading to the non-payment of salaries for 2 months, September and October. Suspend Mr. Alwal Ali Al-Hassan from his position as acting managing director of the Bank of Agriculture, pending a comprehensive investigation into the allegation raising.
Coalition of Taraba State Youth Group has backed the 206 billion loan request made by Governor Abu Kefas towards executing developmental projects across the 16 local government areas of the state. Addressing a press conference in Jalingo, the state chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria called on those opposing the loan request to reconsider their stance. Olabi Adenusi has the details.
The Abu Kefas-led government in Taraba State is finding it hard to meet up with all its campaign promises due to lack of funds. The governor had earlier briefed the people of the state that it met an empty treasury and billions of naira in debt when he assumed office. This is the reason Governor Kefas has approached the State House of Assembly to seek the go-ahead to ask for loans from commercial banks to enable him to embark on infrastructural development. The approval of the request by the House is being resisted by some stakeholders in the state. But at this press conference in Jalingo, the state chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Prince Gara Nonga, urges those opposing Governor Kefas' loan request to stop in the interest of the common man in the state.
In the first place, we are making a passionate appeal to those people that are frustrating the issue of loan to shed their sword. Secondly, we are giving the government 100% support to acquire this facility. This is a government that we have seen transparency. Over time, when you get loans coming into the government, you don't get to see them budgeted. But in this administration, the first thing the governor did was to take it to the House of Assembly, and it is budgeted for. We saw how each and every dime is going to be spent.
He commends the governor for his youth-friendly policies and his engagement of many youths in his administration.
Today, we are here to applaud the resilience of the first Taraba youthful governor, who in just a short while into his administration has given the people of Taraba State a sense of belonging.
The executive governor of Taraba State has been doing his best. If you check his first remarks, the day that he was sworn in as the executive governor of Taraba State, he have told all the people, including the youth, that we should leave the issue of party and come and build one Taraba so that we move Taraba State forward. Not any issue of discrimination, not any issue of tribe, not any issue of party, so that we'll come together, we'll boost Taraba so that Taraba will be better for tomorrow.
The request to obtain a 206 billion naira loan from 4 commercial banks was halted by a petition from some state indigents who wrote to the central bank to prevent the state banks from granting the loan.
The newly constituted board of the Northeast Development Commission has held a series of meetings with community leaders in Gombe State. Members of the board also inspected ongoing projects of the commission in the state. Lanre Adeyemi has the details.
On the 9th of August 2023, President Bola Tinubu appointed a new board for the Northeast Development Commission. The new board and management are tasked with the responsibility of continuing the reconstruction of the insurgency-ravaged Northeast region. The intervention agency is in Gombe to interact with community leaders and opinion molders to assess its impact and receive recommendations.
For us to see to what has been done and again to decide and see what, in collaboration with you, what next we shall embark upon.
The purpose for which the NNDC was set has been actualized because you've been able to intervene on so many occasions, along so many lines, be it on the food that we give to people as palliative, or the infrastructural development, or the skills and acquisition through our youth, and so many more. But still, there is need for us to do more.
The board also inspected ongoing projects being executed by the Commission in Gombe State. The new trauma center at the Federal Teaching Hospital and the low-cost housing estate are two standout projects.
This beautiful and big edifice that you are seeing is actually part of the gesture of the Northeast Development Commission.
This accounts for why we are going again to see what is on the ground so far, what we have started, especially this particular project, to see to its completion within time.
As the Nigerian military gradually subdues the insurgency in the Northeast region, the federal government, through the NEDC, is working actively to rehabilitate the traumatized and rebuild the region. Lanre Adeyemi, TVC News, Gombe.
And our TVC News this hour. For more updates on the stories we are monitoring, you can visit our website, www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. On YouTube, we are live at TVC News Nigeria. Thanks for watching.